All right, I'm recording. Pause everything. Pay attention. It will not take long. And you'll learn something. If you're in need to edit some photos, especially like people that do some of this stuff, like Alan already kind of doing this with his merch and stuff. Simple stuff. All right, everybody there? Okay, so remember what I've always said. Yes, you can get on YouTube and find all these, hour-long videos on how to do this and that. But sometimes simplicity is best, right? If you already got a decent photo, right? One of the best things to do is start off, double click on your layer, Jorge. Go to your layers, window layers, right? Window layers, and you click right there where it says background. It becomes layer 0. You can name it original, right? Command J makes a quick copy. That way you can see the before and after. So we've got layers under window. History is good to have. Remember history, as long as you have the file open, you can always go back in time. You can do Command Z, obviously, but you're kind of limited. So if you have the history also handy, that is good to have. Layers, toolbar. I also like to go to Windows, Workspace. I have Essentials. You can do photography. That'll change your toolbar a little bit. But that's fine. I like to do just default Essentials. I'm fine with that. All right. And then remember your toolbar, you can have it stacked, or I like to do this just to make it fit on the screen. And some of the stuff I'm going to do is not going to be 100% visible on this overhead projector. You're going to see it on your screen. All right. All right. Cool. Now, once you have your copy, did you do your copy, Jorge? Yeah. Select the bottom one, turn it off, and you can even lock it as well. So that way you never mess with it. You always have it. Because if you leave it on and you're trying to do stuff and you don't know which layer you have selected and you're like, no, well, it doesn't do anything. It's because you have the wrong layer selected and you don't have it locked. Cool? Right? That's just a safety thing to not mess up your original. Okay, next step. You guys ready? Yes? All right. So let's zoom in. And you can tell if you look close, and we should be getting really, really detailed stuff like eyelashes, eyebrows. This one's a little bit soft as far as focus on the face. I think the focus is, let's find the focus. Man, it's hard to find it. No, it's not.
Whoa, whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What happened? All right, everybody listen. Everybody listen. So it's kind of hard to see. It's kind of not focused, right? But it's on purpose, and I'll show you guys why. You ready? You guys ready? All right. So make sure you're on the top layer. And we're going to do a little bit of sharpening or unsharp mask. Okay. Now, remember what I've shown you guys, and we kind of did this last year. Anytime you're doing photography of people and you've got eyes and lips and noses and stuff, and it's not quite sharp enough, or it's sharp, but you want to give it that extra oomph and make that image really pop. If you can make the eyes and a little bit of the nose and the lips nice and sharp, it really pops and it really attracts attention. And like I said, this is a real all the celebrity editors, they always do this trick. I learned this from one of those people back before you guys were even born. I had to pay for this information. So it's a quick little trick. So get your brush tool, regular brush, B. Go up to your brush up here at the top, the brush tip.
Which one is it again?
Okay, let's go to B for brush, regular brush. Make sure it's a regular brush tool. Make sure you have your top layer selected, not the one you just turned off and locked. Go up here to the brush size right there. It's like a little circle. It might look like that, or it might look like this. Now, we don't want it to be sharp. We want it to be soft. So you move the hardness to 0. Don't worry about the size. To get out of this window, you click back on the little brush. Let's do that again. Brush tool, click on the brush size, move hardness to 0, right? Some of you guys are going to remember this. Now, if you should see the little brush size already, and you can use your brackets next to the letter P to make it bigger or smaller. If you do not see the brush size, that means you have your caps lock on your keyboard, the green caps lock on light. Don't have that on because then you won't know what you're doing.
So then what size do we put it at?
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do the eyes first. All right. Now, normally, if you were to get this and you have your foreground color and your background color, remember, Photoshop is not like Illustrator. To do a stroke, you have to do different things, right? This is not stroke and this is not fill. This is foreground and background, right? We can change those, but right now, what's in the foreground is black ink. So if you were to spray like this, I know, that is permanent, right? You're like spray painting the wall or a poster. So we don't want that. But what we want to do is get that brush tool, go down here to the bottom of your toolbar, and you'll see that enter quick mask mode. It looks like a little screen with a little dotted circle in it. Click that one. Some of you guys are going to remember this from last year. All right. It's just kind of a refresher. Now, as soon as you do that, notice how the layer kind of turned red. And most importantly, you'll see at the top of your file name, it'll say that you are in quick mask mode. I'll show you guys right now. All right. So you got to make sure that's like that. And then you're going to make your brush, I'd say about that size, and you're going to spray it over the eyes. About like that. It's got to look transparent. If it doesn't look transparent, then you don't have the right quick mask mode on.
They look like Isaac's eyes.
Yeah. That's true.
Wow.
All right. Anybody having trouble? What layer are you on? Yeah, you're good. Okay, but just do it on the eye. No, Command Z. There you go. Make sure you're there. You go. Good. Yeah, it looks transparent. It should look transparent. Looks like he's in like an 80s music video. All right, you ready? Okay. Now you're gonna go back to that little icon and you click it again to actually make it a selection. Some of you guys are gonna remember this. Now, what you don't see is when you first activate it, it's selecting everything else but the eyes. Right now, if I were to do anything, you don't have to do this, just look. If I were to do curves, Command M, you go back and you click on the same little icon and it activates it. Okay, so right now, always remember what is selected. Right now, everything else but the eyes is selected, but we want to invert that selection, not invert colors. Everybody watching? Shift Command I. And now you have only the eyes. Shift Command I, not Command I, because it'll mess things up. If you do Command I, you'll do that. Ooh, look at that zombie turn. Do not do Command I. Just Shift Command I. And look, you can toggle back and forth. Shift Command I, and now the selection is everything else but the eyes. Shift Command I, only the eyes. That's what we want. All right. Okay. Then we're going to go up to Filter, Sharpen, Unsharp Mask. And this is the one that, again, if you do this when you're doing photography and you're doing an edit, if you do this to the eyes and a little bit of the nose and the lips, because you're not, even if it's sharp, the more you make the eyes look glassy, the more they stand out. And I know a lot of people don't output stuff, you don't print stuff, but say that you shot a wedding, a quinceañera, some kind of event, right? Or you're doing portraits for people, right? And they want actual printouts. Right now, like I tell you guys live in a digital world. Everything's posted online and Instagram and stuff. But eventually, some of you guys might end up in a position where people want printouts, right? So this is really going to make a difference. Now, just like everything else in Photoshop, can you do too much of something and it looks weird like that? Yes, don't overdo it, right? But look at my settings. I've got threshold around 3. Don't move that one more than that. Amount 129, and it's going to be hard to see up on the screen. Just enough. Now, you could have said, maybe I don't get the wrinkles under my eyes as much, right? We could have done another one where we only get the eyes, which is fine. but I just want to show you how this works.
So how much? 129?
I'm at about 129, 6.0, and threshold 3 on radius.
Wait up, wait up. Don't-
Right there, yeah.
Okay, and then radius.
Cool.
What is radius again? 3. Radius is 6.0. Threshold is
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, threshold no more than that. All right.
What would happen?
And then if you click the preview on and off, you can literally see how it went from pretty blurry to nice and sharp and glossy. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's okay, but watch.
I don't see a difference.
Then you're not doing it right. You should.
See a difference.
You should. When you click the preview on and off.
Oh, okay, I see.
All right. Okay. So we do that. Say okay. Command D is deselect. Now we're gonna do the same. Brush. Activate quick mask mode. Zoom into the lips a little bit. Now, right here where the lips end, I like to make the brush smaller. And then you can just kind of fill this in. It's gonna look like you put a little lipstick on him. Just like that. Just like that. Make sure the brush size is small like that. Looks like a sad clown
Okay.
from the circus.
Wait, what? Wait. How do I do that again?
Somber.
It's not
Let's
like-
do the same thing.
I know.
Command D. Did you deselect the previous one?
No, not
Oh, that's why. Brush tool.
mask.
Quick mask mode. Right?
Really joke.
Then you click that again. All right. Now the same thing happens, right? Everything else but the lips gets selected. Shift Command I. So only the lips are selected. Zoom in. What? Zoom in. Go back to filter. Now some people would just see how it remembers what you did last time with the unsharp mask. You can try that and it'll do the same amounts to isolate the selection what you really want. Shift Command I. You have to zoom out to see it if you don't see it. Shift Command I. Anyway, let's go to sharpen again. Unsharp mask. And the kind of the same thing, right? And I'm increasing it a little bit. Just enough. All right, don't overdo it like that because that's weird. But it's just a little bit. Look at that. It just kind of tries to sharpen it a little bit. That's it. You just want a little bit. Right there. Mine's at 167, 4.8, and threshold I never move. Yeah. It's kind of hard to see up on the screen. You're not gonna see it up there. But if you actually watch this video later, you'll see it, and you should be seeing it on your screen. All right. Now, again, you can't really see this until you actually output stuff. Can you imagine if you're doing large portraits, like Alan, like how you've done for your fashion show and stuff? You imagine if you had like large printouts of models and stuff wearing your clothes. You want this to look good, you know. You want the face to be the focal point because that's just what human beings are, right? We look at faces. It's just natural to see. Okay, so Command D. All right. Now I sometimes like to do just a little bit of the nose, so I'm going to make a large brush, just a little bit like this, like say off to the side, because it is our nose protrudes farther than anything else on our face, so it should be kind of sharp. Then I activate that. Shift Command I to invert the selection, right? And remember, any selection you can do that command, and I'll show you guys right now what I mean. Shift Command I. Let's do filter, unsharp mask. And there it did it. So it's just slight. All right. Just slight on the nose. It makes like the pores kind of concentrate and sharpen up a little bit. All right. And that's just a little tweak. Command D. And then on your screens, you should be able to see the difference if you zoom in. I know on screen you're not going to be able to see it. And you just turn off the original, turn on the original, turn off the one you just edited, and you'll be able to see the difference right away. So you can take a file that's not 100% sharp, but you like that one, you like the pose, but it's just not sharp enough. this is one quick way to adjust that. And it just takes minutes, right? Okay. All right. So here's the next step. So if you haven't saved, let's save. Command S, I'm gonna call this Daniel edit, whatever, not mine, 3, PSD. Always save as PSD first, right? Cool. And then remember, command minus, command plus lets you zoom in and out, and then you can open up the window a little bit because Photoshop is very different from Illustrator in that sense. Remember, these gray areas in Photoshop, you really can't see what's going on. Can there be stuff back there? Yes, but it's not like a scratch paper area like in Illustrator, right? You can't have stuff here, at least not that's visible. All right, here's the next step. Everybody ready? No? Let me know.
The PSG,
Yeah, save as PSD. Command S.
then turn it on smooth.
Huh?
Turn it in on smooth.
No, we're not done.
Oh,
A couple more things. That's it. It's literally 5 more minutes. You ready? You guys ready? Really? You're not ready? You are? Oh, okay. Okay. So now I want you to go to your toolbar. This is what we call a vignette. I don't think I showed you guys this last year. In photography, people used to do this in the developing room with filters and stuff, or you could set the settings in your camera to do this with your lighting, which is not difficult if you know what you're doing. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can do this to a photo after the fact. All right. So check this out. This is what we call a vignette. All right. Now there's several terms used for vignette, but in photography and art, it's basically darkening the edges to accentuate the subject of an image or a photo. In this case, our subject is obviously the person we took the picture of, right? So get that rectangle tool, and you're gonna draw a shape right over the whole image. It'll look like a big black rectangle, which is fine. You guys there? Yes? Everybody drew that?
mine's red.
It's red?
Oh, I was so happy.
No, get out of all right, everybody there? Yes? Okay. I think I remember this. I've only done it like a million times. Okay, so now notice how you have, this is basically gonna create a mask for us. So click right here, it should say rectangle 1, yes? Click right there with your right click. If you don't have a right click set up, I don't know if it's control option command, I can't remember right now.
Yeah, I'm out of it.
Huh? Yes or no?
Control-
It is?
control option command.
Because it's a mouse setting, no?
Yeah, just click in here. Everybody there? Okay. No. You ready? Okay, so once you select that, this one, properties, should pop up. If you don't see properties, go to window, properties. Yes? Everybody there? Yes? Okay, now notice there's a thing called Pathfinder, just like in Illustrator, and you're gonna say subtract this one, the subtract front shape. Click on that. And it's gonna look like the black box disappeared, but properties, window, properties. Yeah, and then click on the second one, down there. Isaac doesn't have his glasses today. There you go.
No, I don't know.
Cool, you ready? Ready for the last step? Now you go back to shape properties and there's the actual mask. And you click on this and then watch as you move the feather, look at the edges. Look at the edges. You should get this vignette. And it's basically like if you soften the lighting when you took the picture originally, and you can lower the density, and it kind of reveals and accentuates your photo. So if you've ever seen this in photography, they either did it with the camera and the lighting at the beginning, or you could do this in a few minutes with a little bit of technique like this. And it's not difficult, but you can add this to any photo and it makes it look like you're accentuating the subject, right? You guys see it on your computer, right? This is what we call a vignette, right? Darken up the edges. You see this effect a lot in fine art, photography, and I've even seen it a lot like in fashion photography, right? It just gives it a nice look. All right. So once you have that and you find your balance with your, I have mine at 81 and 823 on the feather, right? And what's cool about this is it is not permanent. If you just wanted to take it off, you just turn the layer off. It is not permanent, right? This is non-destructive editing. All right. Command S. And the last part, of course, I've shown you guys that you can do all your adjustment layers. So go to layer, new adjustment layer. I love black and white. I don't know why. I've always liked black and white. Remember, these are also filters. Just say okay. And that even makes it look nicer.
You don't have to do that, right?
If you don't want to, but just a reminder where that is, right? Adjustment layers. And you can do a black and white filter. And what's cool about that is we can actually start doing the blend modes and you can get really cool effects. Like on mine, it kind of turned purplish, the lighting, right? Don't forget, you can do all these cool little blend modes. That one kind of makes it like muted, right? You imagine if you did a whole series of these and they all have this kind of cool look. Look at that one. Very powerful, right? Very simple. You don't have to be doing or looking up 10,000 Photoshop YouTube videos. Ooh, that one's weird. Exclusion, subtract, divide. Ooh, that one divides kind of cool. That actually looks pretty cool. All right. So, and remember, you can blend these with the other one, or I could bring this underneath and do a blend mode. All right, that's pretty much it, right? How you can manipulate something very quickly, do a vignette, hit save, and then when you're done, right, you're gonna do this to your photo that you choose. You save it as PSD, then you're gonna file, save as a JPEG. If you need to do save a copy, save as JPEG, right? And then that JPEG, you're gonna drop it into your collage that you should have set up already. If you don't, let me know and I'll help you. All right. This will be the last part of it. And we're gonna basically balance that in there. And that way you don't have to reveal your whole face, but we're gonna be able to see a little bit of you. All right. Cool. All right. The last part is when we were talking about selections earlier. Check this out. Everybody looking? Especially when you guys were questioning about the Shift Command I. Look at this. Everybody watching? I made another copy just for the heck of it. Now this is gonna be messing with the pixels, but I'm just using the rectangular marquee tool. That's this one. These are built-in selections, right? And what's cool about this is you could do, say, let's do a Command M or curves, right? And I mess with that one or do something like this, right? Now this is permanent. That's why I made a copy, right? Say, okay, Command D. Then I come in here and I make a new selection, right? And I do Command L, say levels on this one, right? And then what if I did Shift Command I, it's everything else. And I can do, say, Command U, a saturation, right? And you can see that using that technique, the Shift Command I, you can really change stuff around. Now this one is permanent, right? And then say I did this and Command M. And you can quickly edit and do some pretty cool stuff. All right, you could do stuff like that using the Shift Command I. All right. Again, just something you can do. Now this one is destructive, like I said. But using that Shift Command I, and it inverts the selection. Cool. All right, that's it. Yeah, take a screenshot of this and upload it for this one. And again, this is what you're gonna do to your photo. If you haven't taken your photo, I'll set up the camera right now. Those of you guys who need the photo, I can airdrop them to you. I have them here. Okay. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Oh wow, I like it. Oh, look at that one. That's, man, I can go in a magazine. All right, I'm sorry. It's just fun. Look at that. Oh, look at that one. Look at that. Look at that. That is so cool. When you guys see the video, if you watch the video, this one looks almost like an illustration now on my screen. Wow. I love this one. Wow, this is so cool. That was so easy. It literally looks like an illustration. Wow.
Okay, no, but we get.
Okay.
Like a what?
Like an illustration on my computer? No. Way. All right, I'm stopping this. You guys are so. You guys are. All right. Okay.